So only me, only I can present. Allow attendees to unmute. No. There, that should fix things. Cool. All right. So that should, in theory, now that should mean that everybody's muted except me, which is good. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. So some of the more observant people may have noticed that the one guy who seems to know what's going on is Mark Hutchison. He's our head TA for the class this semester. So everybody say hello, Mark, and thank him in advance for all of the fixing of everything he's going to do, which is entirely, you know, he's the fixer. He fixes stuff. Anyway, good morning. My name is Mr. Nicholas Moore. I am your professor this semester. So yeah. Again, I'd like to apologize for getting started 13 minutes after the point where we're supposed to be getting started today. It's just gonna be one of those days. I'll see if I can get the stream fixed for tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. Suffice to say, 15 minutes. It was not possible to fix this stream in 15 minutes, unfortunately. So yeah, this is 1MD3. We're gonna basically, this first class is gonna be us going through the outline of the course, the course syllabus. The course syllabus is available on the Avenue page. So if you oh my goodness, I just remembered a bunch of people emailed me because they didn't have access to Avenue just yet, and so they wouldn't have been able to get the link to this Teams page. Oh, isn't it lovely when technology works? Anyway, so I'm just going to screen share so you guys can see the... yeah, so it's entirely possible that I'm going to be lagging a bit. This is... Yeah. Okay, Mark. I had famously bad internet in the past. In the past, I had the technician guys come. They installed a few doohickeys and whatchamacallits in my lines, and hypothetically, the problems are now fixed. The problem was that my internet signal was like inside of the noise floor. Apparently, this is how like cable internet works, is like you have a band of frequency that's like clear, and if you go outside of it too much, then you're in like noisy areas of the signal, and that's what the problem was with my internet last semester. I've had technicians over. I've had 3 technicians. It took them a month to fix it, but I hope that it's now fixed. We'll see if it's fixed or not. I hope it is. Good gravy. So anyway, I hope the sound is good because I got this brand new microphone. It was on sale. It was on sale over the break. I'm probably going to play with it more than I should, but you know. So I'm just going to open up. I'm going to share my screen. Sharing my screen. And that should do wonderful things. So, yeah. Oh my goodness. Yes. Well, see, the problem with lagginess is like it's not necessarily me as it might be Skype itself. Like, you may have noticed that when Microsoft Teams happens, you get very Skype-ish sounding connection tones and stuff like that. So it might not be my fault. It might be Microsoft's fault. It's probably Microsoft's fault. That's the problem with Teams, is like it's not really designed for this, you know? Whereas YouTube YouTube live streaming is designed. It's like one person to many people broadcasting. And that's like, it's much better designed for this type of thing. This is why I like using YouTube rather than using Teams, because you don't get the lag, you don't get that thing where like very, very poor audio compression makes me sound like a robot and stuff like that. And, you know, YouTube is great when it's working. That's the problem. I'll see if I can get it working for tomorrow's lecture, but I know what I'm doing this afternoon. Anyway, so 1MD3. You guys can all see this, I hope. Let me just check. Yep, we're screen sharing. Yeah. So, syllabus. In case you just got here, my name is Nicholas Clifford Charles Moore. I am your course instructor for this semester. I am what's known as a sessional instructor, which means that I'm not a full-time prof. I'm a part-time prof, which means I don't get paid very well. I also am not yet the holder of a doctorate degree. So, yeah. I'm not Dr. Moore. You can call me Dr. Moore if it makes you feel more comfortable, but I'm actually technically Mr. Moore. That's my formal title. But yeah, so this is, yeah, I'll be your first point of contact. With respect to me teaching this course, this is, I think, the 5th time I've taught this course. So things should, live streaming problems notwithstanding, things should work pretty smoothly this semester. We should have things down to a well-oiled machine. So we also have a suite of TAs. Everybody's going to get office hours. Actually, a lot of people have told me the office hours. I just haven't updated the document just yet. We've got Anna, Mark, Swale, Basil, and another Mark. So we got 2 Marks. I made a joke with the TAs over the weekend or last week. I said, if the students are trying to get as many marks as possible, I don't see why I can't try to get as many marks as possible too. Wah, wah. I was told that was a bad dad joke. So anyway, let's review some of the important websites that you guys are going to need to access the course material this semester. So the YouTube channel, this link here is a link to my personal YouTube channel, which is the one that I typically do the live streams for. Ordinarily, this is where I do the live streams when that's working. Obviously, today it wasn't. Avenue is obviously, we're going to be using Avenue in this course for distribution of the lecture slides. That's where your master gradebook is going to be. That's like when I post an important announcement, it will be to the Avenue announcements. The syllabus document is also contained in the Avenue thing, course, shell, whatever. Lots of important information there. The syllabus is a very important document. So we will also be using Jupyter. Jupyter isn't up and running just yet, so please give us probably about a week to get it together. As you'll see, it's not a huge, super important thing right at the moment because none of the assignments are due until a few weeks from now. Don't worry, you'll have plenty of time to do the assignments. The first ones are really easy anyway. However, this is probably something that you'll never have. Well, it might be something you've used before. I don't know if the math department uses it a little bit, but it's what's called a Jupyter Hub server. So when we have, so basically all of the assessments that we're going to be doing throughout this course are going to be on Python programming, because welcome to introductory programming. This is a Python course. You're going to learn Python. So Jupyter Notebooks, that's it's a organization of problems where we can have a document that looks a little bit like a PDF that's interspersed with code blocks. So there are spaces within the document itself that you can do programming. You can write programs inside of these little blocks, and you can execute them right there inside of the program, or sorry, inside of the document itself. This is super cool. this is how the assignments are going to be. So when you look at an assignment or a test or the exam, you'll see a block of text, which it constitutes the question. Underneath that, you will have a block of code, which constitutes the place where you're supposed to put your answer to the question. And you can debug and test and do everything you want to do to that code, all within the same document. You don't have to refer to some sort of oh, man, I'm going to be terrible for hitting my mic this semester. Oh, man, I'm going to have to get used to this. What was I talking about? Professor distracts himself by hitting his own microphone. Check. Those of you, someone should make a bingo card for my lectures, and that should be one of them, one of the spots. Anyway, so the way that we're going to evaluate your work this semester is primarily through what's called auto-grading. What this means is the TAs and myself, when we write a question, in addition to the question, we also write a certain amount of software code that tests the program that you write to see if it works. So we're sort of defining does it work purely in terms of if I give your program this input, does it produce the correct output? This is actually what's known as black box testing. So it's, in the humble opinion of this particular professor, one of the most objective standards of grading is that it's possible to get, because it almost completely eliminates the possibility of human error. So yeah. So anyway, that's Jupyter. There is a procedure for getting on with online with Jupyter. Again, we don't quite have the server up and running just yet. Please be patient with us, and we'll review this probably in about a week to help everybody get online. So, the VPN. Probably a number of you have used the VPN so far. You need it to access things like the library's indexes and stuff like that. So if you don't know what a VPN is, which is entirely possible because this class is composed entirely of people who are sort of outside of the computing and software department. Hello and welcome to the computing and software department, by the way. VPN stands for Virtual Private Network. Basically, what it allows you to do is spoof yourself inside of McMaster's own network. So when you are operating inside of the VPN environment, you are operating as if you were physically on campus, accessing the campus's intranet system. So if you don't have the VPN, this is the link by which you may obtain it. In order to use the Jupyter server, you must have a VPN connection. This can be somewhat problematic for certain people, particularly people who live in areas who have poor internet connectivity, such as myself. That's just a little bit of a joke. Sometimes if your internet isn't super good, the VPN can't maintain a stable connection, which can be a problem. So we actually have an alternative mechanism for the completion and submission of your assignments. You don't necessarily need the Jupyter system, well, no, let me back up there a second. You do still need the Jupyter system. It's just possible to install it locally on your own computer, and then you can access your assignment files via Avenue, download the files off of Avenue, sort of plug them into your local Jupyter installation, and then complete them and then resubmit the files through Avenue. Avenue does not require a VPN connection in order to access. So if you don't want to use the Jupyter, if you don't want to or can't use the Jupyter server, you have an alternative means of submitting your assignments. Yes, good. So, and just so you know, it's very important that you learn how to submit the assignments, because we're not highly interested in accepting a bunch of submissions by email. I had one guy who will remain unnamed last semester who felt that it was an appropriate way to submit his assignments by sending me a bunch of video files with like an extremely poor compression poor enough to the point where I couldn't even read the video file of him scrolling through his assignment file, and figured that I would mark that. And let me tell you, he did not get very many marks for that submission, let me tell you. So, yes, anaconda.com/distribution. This is how you will get, that's how you would go about getting your own local installation of the Jupyter system. More on that later. Microsoft Teams. This is the discussion forum, office hours, and backup lecture location. So, obviously, the backup lecture location was needed today. So, good job systems testing that guy. Oh boy. Discussion forum, though, that's an interesting one. So, in previous editions of this course, we would have what's called Piazza, a Piazza forum for submission of your questions to the TAs and myself, and the organization of the answers to those. So, with respect to this semester, basically, Piazza now wants money, and I couldn't convince the department to spring for it. So, essentially, what we've got instead is we've got what's called Trello. So Trello is a system where it's kind of designed to be a checklist system of sorts, like project management type thing. You make a bunch of boards, you make a bunch of notes. We're going to, so here it is. New members. So if you have a question for the TAs or myself, this is how you go about asking it. You add a card, say, I don't know anything. Add that card, and now a TA can come in and answer that card. If you double click on this, I believe it gives you a you can like have comments on them and stuff like that. Anyway, so this is like for example, during a test, normally when you're writing a test, you can sort of raise your hand and ask a clarifying question about the test during the test, like if the test is being written in person. This is our way of duplicating that type of functionality. Also, it's an invaluable thing for assignments. We'll kind of see how it goes. I'm hoping that it's a decent substitute for Piazza. We're kind of trying it out, so we'll be evaluating it to see if it's working. Sort of midway through the semester, we might change this up later on. But it has Teams integration, which also it seems like it would be a bit better at what it's trying to accomplish than something like Discord. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Schedule. Lectures. Lectures will occur Mondays, Thursdays, and Tuesdays. Mondays and Thursdays, it's from 9:30 a.m. to 10:20 a.m. and Tuesdays from 10:30 to 11:20. They will be live streamed from the instructor's YouTube channel, unless they're not. Lectures will be unlisted videos during streaming and made public once complete. If you'll notice, actually, there was a little bit... The reason that I do unlisted videos is because there is a certain amount of chat toxicity that occurs when it's sort of openly available. We get, a bunch of internet randos in the chat trying to distract from the lecture and just generally making everything go a little bit worse. So, unlisted videos. My typical pattern is what you saw today. I will post the links to the Avidoo announcements feed like on the Monday that the lectures are occurring. Lectures will be available for viewing after the time of streaming Class participation will occur using YouTube's built-in chat feature. If sufficient technical difficulties occur, a meeting on Microsoft Teams will be our backup lecture location, as it was today. So, to answer a few quick questions, there are no participation marks. There are, so people are sort of concerned, is this going to be synchronous? Is this going to be asynchronous? This is going to be largely a choose your own adventure type class. If you wish to participate with the lectures in a synchronous manner, you are fully capable of, we're going to be doing synchronous YouTube lectures, so you can totally do that. If you wish to participate with, if you want to interact with the lectures in a asynchronous manner, you can also do that because the lectures are going to be available after the time of streaming. So the advantage of doing it synchronously is that you get to ask questions during the lecture. The advantage of doing it asynchronously is that you get to do it whenever you want and at whatever speed you want. One of the things that I've been finding, at least was the case last semester and is likely the case this semester, a lot of professors seem to take their half out of the middle with respect to the amount of time they expect you to spend on their courses. You know, doing extra lecturing time above the 3 hours a week that they're allotted and stuff like that. We're not going to be doing anything like that. The only amount of the amount of time that this course should take you in terms of listening to people talk should be 4 hours a week. That's 3 hours of me and 1 hour of your TA, who's probably going to be Basil because he's doing 3 out of 5 of the lecture tutorial sections. Wait, no, not Basil. Swale. Basil's doing 1 and Mark's doing 1. Anyway, yeah, you can. Oh my goodness. I'm going to update all of this stuff. No tutorials this week as well. That's another question that people commonly have. So, oh my goodness. What was I talking about? Yeah, so synchronous, asynchronous, whatever you want. Synchronous people get to ask questions during the lecture. Asynchronous people get to do it whenever they want. So one thing that I highly recommend if you haven't started doing this already, if you're listening to asynchronous lectures, is to play them back at a playback speed that's higher than the regular speed. I know I'm talking pretty quickly right now, but generally speaking, when I'm giving an actual lecture, you'll find that I'm very listenable at a 1.5 or even like a 1.75 playback speed. So rather than sit through an hour of me, you only have to sit through, 40 minutes or even 30 minutes, possibly, if you can tolerate that fast, me talking that fast. This is a tremendous time-saving device that might just save your life this semester. So anyway, so tutorials, there'll be no tutorials first week of class. The following table is a list of TAs and the links to the live streams. This will be populated. I'll probably get this out by the end of today. So we're all going to have office hours. The office hours will occur on Teams. Again, these will be updated at some point today. My personal office hours will be after class on Thursdays. So after class on Thursdays, I will immediately jump into an office hours stream for an hour, well, conversation, office hours, Teams meeting. Yeah, so that's office hours. Prerequisites. In order to take this class, you should have at least the following. Math 1 KO3, Math 1 LS3, Grade 12 Advanced Functions and Introductory Calculus for university preparation, or Grade 12 Calculus and Vectors. I'm not actually sure if these courses still exist in high school, actually. But you should have done some math in high school to take this. With respect to what programming actually is, programming is math. It is correct to think of this class as a math class. So, you're going to have some facility with algebra to do well. Some people, this is kind of my controversial opinion on what it takes to be able to program, but in the humble opinion of this professor, algebra is a skill prerequisite to the understanding of programming. The same sorts of abstractions you use to be able to calculate, solve for x, are the same types of abstractions you will be using to be able to assign things to variables, computer memory. So, anyway, we have plenty of time to learn that. Anti-requisites. If you've taken the engineering version of this course, then what are you doing here? Why are you taking the same course twice? It's not exactly the same course, but it's close enough. Except there aren't like 1,000 engineering students in this class. So we have that. We always have that. I don't know. It's interesting. Like, let's see. Last semester I had about 300 students in this class. This semester I think I've got about 250. And over the summer we might have another 200, maybe. So over the course of the entire academic year, I think we might actually be getting close to the enrollment of 1D04, which is interesting. But anyway, so here are your course objectives. These are the things that we're going to learn this semester. By the end of this course, students will have a working basic knowledge of the Python programming language, and by extension, imperative and object-oriented programming languages. B, a knowledge of Python sufficient for scaffolding further exploration of programming as a skill. So you're going to know some programming, and that means you can learn more programming. C, learn how to organize, write, document, and test medium-sized programs. D, an awareness of the limits of computation. What can a computer not do? E, the ability to bring an informal problem statement into a computational formulation, i.e., can you solve a word problem? And F, the ability to apply algorithmic techniques for solving complex problems, i.e., can you break a problem down into an algorithm? So, if you've not heard the term algorithm before, you may, at least in a computer science context, you probably have heard the term algorithm in the context of, like, for example, YouTube's recommendation algorithm. So, the algorithm. People are talking a lot about algorithms these days, and normally what they mean when they say algorithm is they mean machine learning algorithm. But algorithm in the most general context is it doesn't even it's a more general term than just a computer algorithm. When we are writing programs, we are encoding algorithms in computer language. The algorithm itself is sort of an entity that can be expressed in any medium. You can perform algorithms on paper. For example, the process of long division that you learned in elementary school is an algorithm. It is a series of steps that you undergo to perform a particular calculation. So when we write algorithms in programming, we are telling a computer how to perform a series of steps in order to perform some calculation. There we go. So, calendar description, 3-unit course, Introduction to Fundamental Programming Concepts, Values and Types, Expressions and Evaluation, Control Flow Constructs and Exceptions, Recursion, Input and Output, and File Processing. This is basic stuff. So this is an introductory course. This course will start assuming you know nothing about programming. I often get accused of this course assuming you know stuff about programming. It doesn't actually. It's just a hard course. Pardon me. So the reason a lot of people seem to think, the reason in this humble professor's opinion that a lot of people think that this course is designed for people who already know programming languages is because if you already know Python, you'll probably get an easy 12 in this course. Like, if you already know how to program, this introductory programming course will be extremely easy. Some people who have not programmed before look at these other people in the class who already know programming and say, "Oh, look how easy these people are! Look how easy this is for people who already know how to program." Obviously, the course has been designed for them, and it's not actually the case. So this course starts assuming you know nothing about programming, but it moves quickly. It's easy to fall behind in this course, so please keep up with the assignment material. Please, keep up with the lecture material. I know that there's a tendency, there's a temptation if the lectures are available after the fact to sort of binge them all before the test. Please don't do that. Please, 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 please. I always say that the best preparation for the exam is the course. Pardon me. So, yeah. So this is not an easy course, but I hope that it is a valuable course, even if it's not an easy one. So, let's get to the part everybody wants to hear about. Evaluation and assessment. So, in this course, we've got assignments worth 40%, tests worth 30%, and the final is worth 30% as well. There are going to be 10 assignments, 3 tests, and 1 exam. All evaluations in this course are individual in nature. No group work will be assigned because that would make no sense at all. All assessments in this course will use Jupyter notebooks. So once we've got that server up and running, I highly, highly, highly recommend figuring out how it works. There are 2 ways to get and complete the assignments. Number 1, log into Jupyter directly. Assignments may be completed in browser and submitted using the Jupyter interface. This option requires you to have a VPN connection when off campus, which, let's face it, we all probably are off campus right now. Anybody still on campus? Probably not. Let's see. I haven't checked chat in I guess I've been kind of assuming Mark's been taking care of chat. Okay. Wow. Did I just freeze that? Okay. Never mind. We'll just not worry about that. Number 2, download the assessment in the form of a .ipynb plus any other associated files, Jupyter Notebook from the Avenue assignment folder. Then use a local installation of Jupyter to complete the assignment. Then upload the completed notebook to Avenue in the appropriate assignment folder. If you do not submit a Jupyter notebook, i.e. you just submit Python source code, you will get a 0 for the assessment. So just please, the autograder relies on the fact that everything is embedded in a Jupyter notebook. If you just throw a bunch of Python files at us, we're going to say, well, I guess you didn't want the marks very badly. And also, one other thing. Please do not rename the notebook files. If you rename them, the software will not be able to find them and you will get 0 and you will wonder why because you submitted the assignment, and then we'll look at it and we'll say, oh, well, it's obvious why you didn't get any marks for it. You renamed the file so the autograder didn't find it. It's just a hassle all around. So please don't rename that. And by the same token, please do not rename any of the functions in the assignment files. But we'll get into that. So, assignments. Assignments will be written using the online learning platform Jupyter. The assignments are designed to reinforce the material presented in lecture as well as the tutorials. Completion of these assignments on an individual basis is essential to your success in this course. There will be 10 weekly assignments for this course. Late submissions will not be accepted. Late submissions will not be accepted. Assignments will be due Sundays at midnight. For further information, see the timeline outlined in Section 4. Assignments will be auto-graded using Jupyter. Assignments will often contain bonus questions, which are more difficult in nature. Some of them are not, but that's okay. However, the amount your assignment marks will contribute to your grade cannot exceed 40%, even if, for example, your average assignment mark was 110%. So there are bonus marks for everything in this class, but the bonus marks are category restricted. So bonus marks on assignments only apply to other assignments. Bonus marks on tests only apply to other tests. There will be 3 tests evenly distributed throughout the semester. The tests will be in take-home format and distributed through Jupyter. These tests are open book tests, but collaboration between students on test questions will not be tolerated. You have 24 hours to complete each test. That's right, folks, 24 hours. The reason that we do this is because I am quite sure that if I polled the class right now, you'll find that we have people taking this class right now across the globe. We've got people I know last semester at least, we had people in China, we had people in India, we had people in the Middle East, we had people, I don't know if we had anybody in Europe actually, but, and certainly we've got people like on the west coast of this continent as well. So my reasoning goes, it's not fair for someone to be forced to write a test from 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. in their own local time. So how it works is we give one 24-hour period in which you can write the test. This also applies all of this applies to the exam as well, by the way. The amount of time within that 24-hour period you get is unlimited. So you can start it when, like, you can work for 24 full hours on the test if you have that type of endurance. And then but the submission deadline is strict. So how it works is everything becomes available at 9 o'clock in the morning according to Eastern Standard Time, and everything is due at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time the next day. So, plan your lives accordingly. Tests will also have bonus questions. The final exam will occur at the end of the semester. The exam will also be in take-home format, distributed through Jupyter Hub. It's open book. Collaboration between students on test questions is strictly forbidden. You will have 24 hours to complete the exam. The exam will be cumulative. The exam will also have bonus questions, and the amount of your final exam may contribute to your final grade is capped at 30%. So there you go. This is pretty much our time for today. I'll finish going through this document next time. My cat is meowing. So I'll stop the screen sharing here. Mark is awesome. Thank you, Mark. So, boop, I'm back. So, these all seem to be technical questions. So, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So well, yeah, I'll see if I can catch the cat. But with respect to how long the test, so I'll just kind of be hanging around for the next few minutes to help answer questions. But yeah, the tests, like, it really depends. Like, I find when the tests aren't as time limited, people tend to take as long as they want on them. Like, I definitely have heard lots of people taking as much as 8 to 12 hours on the tests. But this, I kind of suspect this is because people aren't working to a deadline to the same way as they would be if it were like a 2-hour test. But yeah, let me see if I can grab my cat. I'll be right back. Oh, come on, you. There we go. All right. So I actually have two cats. This is Martin. Martin is a big guy. He is half Bengal and half Maine Coon. So look at the size of this guy, eh? Ah, there we go. He's a big guy. Say hello. Say hello to everybody there, eh? So this is Martin. There's also Rimby. She's a little bit younger and is just kind of, you know, she's being a little madam today. So perhaps on another stream we'll have the cat. We'll have Rimby on. Yeah. I'm famous as Profs Go for having my cats on stream. Yeah, but yeah, Martin's a funny guy. Yeah, he's very interesting because like the Maine Coon is like a huge breed of cats. If you're interested at all in cats, I recommend looking up some pictures of Maine Coons because they can get enormous. You can do a local installation of Jupyter right now before the server is running. Absolutely. He's not fat. He's just poofy. He's just fluffy. Well, maybe he's a little bit chubby, but he's also just large. Yeah. Ooh, Siberian Maine Coon. Ooh, that's cool. Yeah. He's half Bengal, so it's kind of interesting. He's got like spots on him. You don't like spotted cats aren't as common as striped ones for sure. So yep, no tutorials this week. Absolutely no tutorials this week. Is there homework for this course or assignments? So we have assignments. I have some links on Avenue to some like cat hair. Sorry. I have some links on Avenue to some sort of extra resources, I call them. But these are links to various websites you can find which are extremely helpful for getting some practice problems, sort of external to the assignments. So Coding That is one that I really like. Yes, open. Thank you. Jeez. So they've got Java and Python. Obviously, we would be doing Python. But if you click on this, they've got just a bank of problems. And you can just click on this, write your Python code, and it'll show you what you get wrong and what you get right. So yeah, that's a good one. Another good one is Python Tutor. Just while we're doing good and useful websites. So Python Tutor is a code visualization tool that's rather good. Does a range of languages, but you can write code here. So like x is equal to 3, y is equal to x plus 2. Sure. You can execute it. You can step through it, and it shows you how your variables change through time. I'm showing this to you up front, but I'm probably going to be using it a bit more this semester. This was actually shown to me by a student last semester. So you can see how the 3 changed to a 6 through that last step. Yeah. So this is so pythontutor.com, another really good resource. Coding That is a really good resource. I don't like assign homework. You guys are in university now, so I expect if you need extra help, you will go and get it. I have provided the links. If you don't understand something, it is incumbent upon you to seek out a TA, ask a question on the message board, send an email, or do some extra problems yourself to try to cement these concepts. Personally, I tend to think that the assignments should be sufficient, but again, it's up to you. The Anaconda link, yeah, so Anaconda is a package that includes a bunch of software. One of the things that's included in the standard Anaconda distribution is, well, there are two things of note. Number one, the version of Python that you'll need. So you don't have to go and find Python separately. You can just download Anaconda. And number two, Jupyter Notebooks. So, and the version that you need. So, yeah. If you download Anaconda, you get all of the software that you need all in one go. So there you go. So there you go. So I'll ask if there are any questions for people. You don't need an account to do Anaconda. No, I don't think so anyway. I believe you can just download it. Good. So, okie dokie. Yeah, it's very likely that you guys have another lecture to run along to. So we'll just keep the meeting going, you know, for as long as people have questions, I suppose. But yeah, yeah, that's more or less it. Looking forward to talking to you guys this semester. So yeah, keep it real, folks. Normally I do like this sign-off thing where I'm like, but you know, since I don't have a end stream button, it doesn't feel as you know, doesn't seem as visceral. Yeah. Okay. And thank you, Mark, for being in the. Thank you for being in the chat, taking care of the chat today. Quite a lot of people having technical questions. Yeah. Cool. You keep it real, man. Keeping it real, keeping it on the streets, keeping it cool. Everybody's cool. All right. Take her easy, guys. Let's see. Should probably stop it recording.